bitch, the ribbon broke the toe. We invented the cherry tomato and Waze USB drives and the Iron Dome. Israeli salad, Uzi Stenson, Jaffa's orange grow. Microchips is us, iPhone cameras us, taco salads us, Boba us, Olive Garden us, White Cloth for us, Sabra Hamas, Hasbara sus.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bad Hasbara,
the world's most moral podcast. Looky.
Yeah,
I see a live guest in the flesh.
That's right.
Me.
That's you. We already. Here's the thing. We have a live guest. That means we don't get to do the thing that we usually do, which is make the guest spend about 7 to 15 minutes off screen.
I can sit on the bed.
No. Don't sit on the bed. You are here. People have already seen you. It is too late.
Okay.
You need to install a soundproof booth in your studio, for guests to wait.
Yeah.
And we can just observe them.
It's just a very small, hot room. And then they get out and they're just sweaty. And it's like,
Remember in quiz show that
hair is all
those soundproof booths had a fan, but they could turn it off if they wanted to make the contestants sweat for extra drama.
I just rewatched quiz show. And
Who's the host of that?
it was the guy who played Shooter McGavin.
Jack Barry, played by Christopher McDonald.
Yeah. And I love that movie because it's low-key about anti-Semitism.
You want to be worshipped? Go to India and moo.
And it's so funny having John Turturro do it because he's just doing his best impression of the most annoying Jew.
That's right.
And he's such a good actor that you're like, yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Go ahead, have arugula. It's a Jewish delicacy. I'm quite aware of arugula. Thank you.
So good. This is Ahmed Bharoocha.
Hello.
We are here with. This is our guest. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I love your podcast.
I love that you love the podcast because you're a comedy colleague. You're not just some guy. And the fact that anyone who does comedy, or who I know personally who actually listens to it, I'm just like, that's really nice.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for making it.
Fuck yeah, doing our best.
I mean, it's easy to have the right politics.
Yeah,
But to have the right politics and
podcast
that real comedians find you worth listening to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't even go to shows I'm not on anymore. like you're supposed to like hang out. That's like a whole thing with comedy is like, oh, you were all going to go to the store and not get on.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I would rather die.
Yeah.
I have children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar. I tune in to my favorite podcasts every week to see if I'm on, and if I'm not, I just log off.
Yeah, right. I'm just like, damn, I'm
Am
still
I on
not
Choppa
on
this week?
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'm still not on This American
Life.
I've been calling Ira
You got to
Glass.
hang out, then you'll get on.
Yeah, you got to hang out in Chicago, wherever Meeky Meek hangs out. I'm sorry. I just really love all the names and NPR shows. Everyone sounds like a rapper. And I don't mean like a cool name. I mean like, Meeky Meek. I mean, that's a great name.
Even Terry Gross sounds like a
Terry Gross sounds
rapper.
like a fucking rapper. There's a lot of cool names. 5 stars in a review. Please do that for us.
Those are your marching orders. It's not even an option.
Yes, we're not even telling you. We're not even asking you. We're telling you now.
That's the rating of the podcast.
It's 5 stars, and under the review area, just write review. Okay, stop fucking with me. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join the patreon.com/badhasbar. We just had a great episode with Greg Stoker, and Adam named it. It's called Damn Stokers Bula.
Oh my god, it's just mwah.
It's one of the
Made my
best.
day.
It's one of the best names for an episode we've ever had.
I told Adam I don't generally love our episode titles that are just plays on the guest's name.
Yeah,
but that one was too good. Damn
It's
Stokers
too good.
Bula. I mean, come on.
It's too good.
Get it because he's back, because he's been on like 4 times.
I got it immediately.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay, that's
I'm talking to the audience.
Yeah, in case I didn't get it, because he was
And
back.
Bram Stoker's Dracula is a movie about a vampire called Dracula.
So there's a few people who now fully understand it.
And his name's Greg
Stoker, yes. Most importantly, his name
And
is
if
Greg
you put all
Stoker.
those things together, you get what's called a pun.
A pun.
A really good episode title is what you get. Shout out to producer Adam Levin for hitting us with all them chirons and lower thirds and doing all the other stuff that is very important behind the scenes.
Hitting switches
Yeah, hitting switches and
Pulling things.
fucking bitches.
and making riches.
Yeah,
Come
oh,
on
that's
now.
better.
Come on.
I shouldn't have. And then
scratching
finally,
itches.
please. Oh, new plug. The Bituation Room Live is going to be happening over at the Elysian Theater on May 30th. So see my wife, Francesca Fiorentini, and I, and a few other people. We're going to do a live podcast there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And me, Matt.
Oh, are you going?
No, it's
Oh.
not and I. It's and me. See,
Is it?
See my wife. No, my wife and I are doing a show. You can
Yeah.
see my wife and me at that show. Because you wouldn't say you can see I at the show. You'd say you can see unless you were Rastafari.
Unless I was Rasta.
Yeah.
Excuse I.
But then it was,
I might be. I might be. You don't know what my religion is.
The royal.
excuse I.
I and I are offended.
Sorry.
Ay, 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 prup, 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 bumbleclot. So there will be a link to that May 30th. Come out to it. Today's episode is brought to you by Mercy Corps. For more than 3 decades, Mercy Corps has worked in the West Bank and Gaza, meeting critical humanitarian needs. Their programs have supported Palestinian communities by helping communities cope with crisis, supporting marginalized and vulnerable youth, and increasing economic opportunities. Please go and donate to that before you even think about getting any bonus content, because that is stupid and what they do is good. mercycorps.org. That's MERCYCORPS.org. O-R-G. Do it now. Daniel, what's the spin?
A few things here. Today apparently is Stevie Wonder's 75th birthday.
Oh.
So I've got my favorite Stevie album here, Intervisions.
Okay. That's nice. Is that the one that has Isn't She Lovely on it?
No, I think Isn't She Lovely is on the brilliant but overlong Songs in the Key of Life.
Oh,
double
yeah,
album.
that is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one with Living for the City
Oh, that's a great song.
and Too High and You Don't You Worry About a Thing.
Those are all good songs. You know,
Yeah.
he's going places at Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Never
for
heard
him.
of him.
He says some guy. He's amazing.
And then, in honor of a concert I'm seeing later this week, a few albums by one of my favorite groups of all time, Living Colour,
Oh, shit. You're going to go see Living Colour live?
in Patchogue, Long Island.
Patchogue.
Yeah, at the 35th anniversary of this album here, their second album, and I think their greatest album, Time's Up, which I remember getting the cassette of right when it came out in the summer of 1990. And I remember first listening to it on a chartered yacht that took us usually we took BC ferries to get to Zionist summer camp.
Of
But
course.
this year, that year,
Like
for
you
some
do.
reason, they chartered like a yacht to get across the Strait of Georgia. And I was listening to this album and it just blew my freaking mind. So first up is Vivid from 1988, then Time's Up 1990, and finally Stain. You mean do you mean Breaking in Your Wetsuit? Do you mean Corey Glover's body glove outfit there, Adam, or do you mean the yacht going down?
I assume he means the first one and the
Yeah.
second one at the
Yeah.
same time.
Anyway, they still sound incredible. I saw them twice last year, once in Nottingham, UK, and once in a free concert here in New York. And yeah, seeing them
always
as medicine
wonder-
for me.
Do you think Living Colour gets a cut of the show in Living Colour?
There was some kind of,
Lawsuit?
I think there was some kind of something.
I'd
I'm not
sue.
sure how it got resolved.
If someone else like came out with a show called Bad Hasbara, the world's most moral other podcast, the world's most
They
mother
just have to
podcast.
add like.
But you know the different,
on
the
Bad
di-
Yeah, on Bad Hasbara.
well, one of the differences in Living Color doesn't use the U in color. Living Color spells it the British way.
That's where they fucked up.
Living color.
It's like that extra pickup note in the bass line to Ice Ice Baby that Vanilla Ice was like claimed that made it a different song.
Oh, you mean like da 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 da? Oh,
exactly.
I never noticed that.
It's not the same. That's what he said. That was his legal argument.
Yeah. He said that in court.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
And in conclusion, Your Honor, word to your mother. Confession. And I was saying this the other day when Under Pressure came on somewhere. I don't love that song the way everyone else does.
Interesting.
It's a good song, but it doesn't do
excite
it for
you.
me. It doesn't excite me.
All right. Well, to each their own.
Maybe you should add the ice cube for
Yeah. Vanilla Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice cube. Maybe that's the one you should check out.
Daniel prefers the original sample from Snow's Informer.
100%. I lick you boom boom down.
I love to licky boom boom down. So that is what's spinning, apparently, unless I cut one off.
And have I mentioned yet on the show that someone is keeping a Spotify playlist of every single album I've ever mentioned in the What's the Spin segment? And it's now at about 125 hours long at this point. And every week someone updates it with the entire album.
Oh man, the
of
whole
every album I
album.
mentioned.
Is this someone you?
Yeah.
No,
When
it's
you say
absolutely not.
someone-
No.
Someone
I was
else.
reading. I never do this, but I went into the Patreon chat room, just a general show discussion room.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Is there a playlist?" And someone said, "Here you go," and put a link.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Shout out to all of you voracious hogs out there.
Good fans.
Yeah, you guys are badass. That's cool of you. Because I need to listen to those things. Also,
I recommend putting it on shuffle if you're on a long plane. Listen to a very eclectic mix of music.
I mean, putting whole albums on a playlist kind of like changes what a playlist is.
Yeah.
But
I like it.
it's still not a terrible idea.
No. It's more of an archive.
I love that they do that. That's really cool. And also, since I only did the Patreon episode post Cobb show, I want to say for all the free people, the Cobb show went really well. Thank you to everyone who came out to see us. It was super fun. And there's going to be more shows that we plug, and then we will be doing, I swear to God, a Bad Hasbara live show. It will happen.
Hell yeah.
And it'll be so much fun. Also, my friend, his dad is in one of the bands you shouted out.
I know you told that to me. Bard, the Canadian.
Yeah.
So it turned, and I just got a new old record from them in the mail. Their second album, Image. Turns out they're 2 Irishmen, 2 Americans, and 2 French Canadians.
Wow, look at
I
that!
didn't realize
So
this.
eclectic. There's different.
And someone
kinds
just
of
came up
whites.
to you at the show and said, "Hey, my dad was in Bard."
It was a friend of mine who I used to work with at AJ Plus, and said that Daniel, shouted out my dad's band. And I was like, "Which one?" She said, "Bard." And I was like, "I remember that because I remember thinking there's a band named Bard." I love that.
Yeah, Bard with an E. I mean,
Yeah.
they were just I didn't think anyone knew of them, but I guess the daughter would.
I mean,
it was a record.
At least one
I
person.
think that's
knows.
my dad's band.
Yeah.
It was a record that my folks had on the record player a lot as a kid, and it was one of my favorites. And just beautiful Celtic and Gaelic and French Canadian folk music.
Yeah, I love that. Well, shout out to my friend and shout out to Bard and shout out to everyone. It is time to shout out our guest once again,
Hi.
Ahmed Bharoocha, comedian extraordinaire and person who also used to take their kids to the same daycare that my kids go
Yeah,
to.
you could probably see it from your window.
100%. We're like walking distance. I
that.
fucking love it. So yeah, everyone, Ahmed Bharoocha.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi. Thanks for having me.
thank you for being here. So much to talk about. You're a comedian. You're someone who lives in Los Angeles, and you are someone who is none too pleased with the whole genocide thing.
I don't like it.
Yeah?
I'm not a fan.
You're against it.
I'm against it.
Now, have you considered
Let me hear.
that you might be only thinking that because you are anti-Semitic?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
No, that's why.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Hold on, let me do the alert.
Other than that, it's fine.
There's no anti-Semitism in the United States.
So
You
yeah,
know, Doc,
I know
I've never had a problem with genocides before, but this one seems to be really bothering me. Like I'm up at night, weren't thinking about it, and thinking about the people who were doing it, and it just pisses me off. You know,
Yeah,
it doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right. Listen, I'll let all sorts of people do genocides.
We got him.
But not those damn Jews. That is the crux of the anti-Semitism argument. Is essentially like, why can't we do?
Everybody gets to do it.
Yeah.
It's our turn.
It's our turn. Everybody gets a turn at being bad. So yeah, you're a comedian. You're in Los Angeles in the industry, and I think one of the things that spurred on this podcast for me was the fact that I had personally known so many people post October 7th who just seemed to kind of lose their minds and sort of noticing a cone of silence around people in the industry, especially in like the comedy world, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, people known to be silent.
Yeah, comedians. Right. Yeah, comedians are very famously about being tight-lipped and silent and censored. We love it.
Yeah. So I think in the comedy world, it's called a cone head of silence.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. But so I want to ask what your experience was like post October 7th and what it's been.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sad, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's been hard to speak out because you kind of like shocked by that it's a bad thing, like,
right?
To show empathy.
Yeah.
Like we had friends, I definitely like family friends that had to completely shattered the relationship where I was just like, I just don't want little kids to die. And they're like, you're bad.
Yeah. Did you consider which kinds of kids?
Yeah. But you don't know those kids.
Yeah, you don't even know them.
Those are rad kids.
Yeah.
But Ahmed, I mean, as far as empathy goes, if your empathy for one side isn't canceled out by equal and perhaps even more empathy for the other side, is it really empathy?
You're right.
That's so true.
I haven't thought of it like that.
Yeah. This is actually an intervention. We're doing a heel turn on this podcast. It's called Good Hasbara now.
But we're going to spell it H-E-A-L. And
I think we're going to
heal people.
Before.
H-E-A-L?
Yeah, heel turn.
Oh, heel turn. I love it. I just got
It's your turn to heal, Ahmed.
Not bad, Hasbara.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. Hey, not bad. It's like OK Computer. It's like pretty good.
That's a new segment for us. When we come across some Hasbara that's actually kind of, you got to hand it to it.
Yeah.
We'll do not bad Hasbara.
Not bad, Hasbara. That's a great how to make the bumper.
I'm curious if you guys feel like has Hasbara gotten worse or just you're paying more attention?
100% it's gotten worse.
Yeah, it's gotten worse because only because I had been and have been paying attention for a while, and I was personally expecting people to update the Hasbara when I would talk to them post October 7th, especially people who were taking the pro-Israel position.
Yeah,
I was like, well, certainly they have something new to add.
Yeah, that's the waiting. Like I kept thinking, like, well, I always thought like these family friends, especially that like kind of came at me hard, where like I was just kind of always give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, they just don't know what's going on.
Right.
They're just kind of ignorant to it. Yeah. Then when like, I'm posting stuff and they're watching it, you're like, oh, hey, they're knowing, they're learning. Right. And then they'd come at you be like, wait, you saw it and you're mad?
Yeah. How can you still be mad?
Yeah. And also to put it in psychological terms.
Yes, please.
Pop psychological terms. Everyone knows about attachment styles these days, right? Like so on and so forth. So Hasbara used to be sort of divided into like anxious. This is not a perfect metaphor, but it'll
I expect it to be perfect.
Yeah. I expect perfection.
Yes.
Jew.
Holding a gun to your head. Yeah. Do the perfect analogy. All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Freud Jr. It used to be either anxious, Hasbara, like another Holocaust, so on and so forth, the only safe place for it, or like avoidant, deflecting, like, look, we don't have to explain ourselves at all. It's the Arabs who have to explain themselves.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. Now it's like pure disorganized.
Yeah.
Like it's the disorganized attachment style where it's like they'll just throw out anything. And 1 minute they're cajoling you and trying to be cute and likable. The next minute they're like, we're monsters and fuck you for pointing it out. that just crazy hysterical shit, the allowing of the TikTok videos, like just the kind of like, oh well, soldiers will be soldiers. That's how I would sort of phrase it. It's certainly not secure.
Yeah, it's been kind of like like the Hasbara usually, and I've said this before, it usually takes a while between news items in order for the Hasbara to change, and people can they'll forget the previous stance was on one thing, and they'll just do the opposite. And October 7th, at least post October 7th, they haven't been allowed to do that. So instead, it's just every other sentence contradicts the previous one. So it just keeps going around, and it sounds completely insane. For example, one of the things that I saw very recently, which just was insane, was the IDF blowing up a building to do a gender reveal. And I have that video here. This is Israeli soldiers blow up a building in Gaza to do a gender reveal. You see it blowing up, and you see that there's blue smoke coming out of it. And you hear...
all we know is it's going to be an Israeli. Is that a gender?
Yeah. Yes, that's all we know. They're like, and it's Israeli. Yeah, but like something like that where you're
that's like that's what they usually present. Like they're teaching them to hate. It's like
it was the gender was revealed in hate. Even pre the baby being born, it is inculcated into your hateful ideology. I mean, you're doing a war crime to reveal a gender. Talk about teaching to hate. But yeah, I always
assigned dead at birth.
Right. Yeah.
ADAB.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the Hasbara has definitely gotten worse. Were you familiar before October 7th, sort of like generally the issue?
I definitely have obviously learned a lot more. I have a Palestinian aunt and cousins, but I never talked about it, and I probably was took more. I probably took in Hasbara. I was kind of...
Is her name Auntie Israel?
Yeah.
She's anti-Zionist. We're having fun.
But we never talked about it, and so I never really had that. Growing up as a kid, it was always just kind of you knew it was something sad, oh, she's Palestinian. You're like, oh, okay, that was it,
right? And
so and obviously you grow up knowing the Holocaust and everything, so you're like, yeah, there should be a safe place for those people,
right? And
you're like, that sounds good. And then I think as an adult, I started learning more, but not the details.
Sure.
So I think, when October 7th happened, I already knew enough to go, oh no, this is not good.
Yes.
And then now very because I never wanted to say anything wrong, especially people would just at first just going hey, maybe we should stop bombing. And people come
right, yeah, you get yelled at for that.
Really learn every, and that's where I realized, I usually try to see both sides, but then we're well, all those things from this side are lies is crazy.
There is no other hand.
Dun 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 dun.
So
Fiddler.
So definitely learned a lot more since. But I think as the last maybe 10 years, I kind of had a somewhat idea of what was happening.
Right. I mean, enough so that when October 7th happened, you're saying that you immediately were like, oh, this is going to be bad. Yeah. And I think that's true of a lot of people who had any even passing knowledge about this. We knew this was going to lead, especially the scale of the death on October 7th and the humiliation.
I did not know this was going to happen. I knew it would be bad, but
right.
I didn't know
no, certainly, I didn't know it was going to be genocide. But I personally, it was one of those things where I kind of said, this is going to be this is the perfect excuse that they will need, and the world will let them do an ethnic cleansing.
They telegraphed it too.
They did.
On day one, we were talking about Amalek.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. We're citing the Bible's most
all the
genocidal
stuff that seems to
versus
be afraid of the other side. It's just like that's like they think we're all bad,
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
And then, of course, you have Gallant with the no food, no water, electricity. I mean, that was no electricity. That was October 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
I mean, Gallant also called them. Was it Gallant who said human animals? Yeah. You know,
in the same breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we knew that they. For me, it was their inability to even entertain the question about less civilian casualties. Like when they were being interviewed on the news.
Yeah,
I was like, you're on like British news, yelling, like browbeating a news anchor for being like, are you guys taking any measures to be careful about civilians? And then there was like one guy was just like, oh, you care about civilians. How dare you ask that question? I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
and not care.
And their slickest, most genial Hasbarist with the perfect English accent, what's his name? Alon Levy.
Yes.
You know, goes from smiling and charming to saying to this, you know, incidentally brown-skinned interviewer, I think of Arab descent, says, I should strongly warn you not to pursue this line of questioning.
Right.
I have to most forcefully and vigorously caution you against this particular inquiry.
Yeah.
You know, like this like crazy mafia threat in this Oxbridge accent in a blue fucking suit.
Yeah. And you know, it was the you know, immediate fight against trying to contextualize anything that was happening.
That was exactly it. I should warn you not to try to contextualize October 7th.
Right.
That's actually what he said.
Which is such a bonkers thing to say unless you are already super pro-Israel, in which case, you know, you are going to already share the delusion with whatever Hasbara is talking. But for everybody else, it's like, this is weird. Why is this person just saying, you know, I strongly caution you not to read about history for a bit, you know?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that you know, we talked about Hasbara changing and being kind of contradictory and strange. First thing I want to talk about today is the daughter of Maggie Gyllenhaal and Betar Sarsgard, which they're both actors. If you don't know them, Maggie Gyllenhaal was in the movie Secretary. Also, she played Rachel in Batman Begins Part 2, The Dark Knight. That's what it's called, right? Batman
Rachel.
Begins Part 2, The Dark Knight. She replaced Katie Holmes. And
she was also in and executive produced a very good David Simon show, The Deuce.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Deuce is fucking great. David Simon, I hate
With Rob Schneider.
Yep, that's it. The Deuce. She plays Bigelow, male gigolo. Although I will say Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo, and The Deuce do share a lot of commonalities. They're both very similar in a way. They're both about sex work.
One of the best television scenes I've ever seen is in The Deuce with Maggie Gyllenhaal and Method Man, of all people. He plays a pimp and she plays a sex worker trying to go it alone and go solo and make her own films. And there's just this incredible scene between the two of them on the street.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Method Man is great in that show. He did better in that than he did in The Wire as Cheese. Although I liked him as Cheese. Don't get me wrong.
Ain't easy civilizing this motherfucker.
That's right. And then
method actor. I heard.
He's a method actor. He is a method man.
METHOD actor.
And then Betar Sarsgard, who is in a bunch of shit. He's like very much that guy from That Thing. He's you've seen him, you recognize him. I don't know if he's in the Hurt Locker, but he feels like he's in the Hurt Locker. He's a great actor. Every time I see him in something, I'm like, oh, what a good actor.
I can't picture him, but I know the name.
If you see him, you'll know him.
He's one of those male actors where I'm like, attractive.
Yeah. He's God, what is he in? I mean, I've seen him in so many movies. But anyways, they have a daughter.
I get him. I always get him mixed up with the other Skarsgards.
Yeah, he's not a Skarsgård.
He's not Stellan Skarsgård.
No, he's not part of the Skarsgård dynasty.
Yeah,
he's Sarsgard. It's a different guy. I feel like
he doesn't guard scars. He guards SARS.
SARS, not scars. So Skarsgård,
What a
they have,
stupid podcast.
Now it's lost meaning to me.
I know.
What a dumb show we are.
Is half my face numb? Just going down. They have a daughter, Ramona Sarsgard, who apparently was one of the protesters at Columbia at the pro-Palestine encampments, who recently got arrested, and just the Hasbara around it, I've found so funny because it's coming from people who their entire thing is I'm against woke. And then now they have this woke argument about why it's bad for the daughter of a celebrity or daughter of two celebrities to get arrested for being pro-Palestine. So this is Barry Weiss. Barry Weiss says, the richest, most privileged people on the planet are drawn to any cause that makes them, if not the oppressed, at least approximate enough to slake their thirst. Slake. I gotta admit, that's the first Slake I've ever seen.
I used the word slake in a lyric once, and I used it in the context of thirst. And I think my dad said to me, "No, you don't slake a thirst. You slake a hunger. You quench a thirst."
Yes,
and I was like, "Fuck you! I needed one syllable."
Yes. But also, this is Batya Ungar Sargon, not Barry Weiss. I get them confused because they're both terrible.
Bunga bunga.
Yeah, this is Batya Bunga Bunga Sargon of Akkad, and she says, press at least proximate enough to slake the thirst of their oppression, envy, in a milieu that recognizes oppression as the only form of virtue. I'm sorry, but this word salad to be big mad at daughter is so
But
funny.
also like Batya, who now is positioning herself as like a friend of the working class. The daughter of a neurologist who went to high school in Israel.
Yes.
And is using words like milieu in the middle of badly written, overwritten sentences.
Yes.
To talk about the richest, most privileged
all our
people.
blue collar uncles use the word milieu.
Yeah, milieu. Tell your dad you sate hunger, you slate thirst. 2 out of 10. Thank you.
I was right.
Yeah, apparently you were right, according to producer Adam.
And maybe I made it up and I'm remembering wrong, but maybe it was a dream. But I think my dad actually got that wrong. So yes, fuck yeah.
Take that, Dad. Fuck you, Dad.
I like how you have a victory, but you're trying to undercut it. Maybe it's probably wrong.
Yeah, I'm probably still
I
wrong.
can't have been beating my dad.
I love my dad.
It's probably my fault Daddy was mad.
I probably said it wrong.
Yeah, you said it wrong. But
I shouldn't have been born.
Batya also published a book called Bad News: How Woke Media is Undermining
news.
Yeah, bad news. It's just her Twitter feed. Bad news: How woke media is undermining democracy. And obviously, Batya is like one of these Hasbarists who has been. I believe she works at Newsweek now. She used to be the opinion editor at The Forward.
Yeah, and she used to be kind of liberal-ish.
Right. She was total liberal Zionist. She was absolutely the liberal Zionist to fascist, Betar, Zionists pipeline. Like, she's the perfect example. She's also shared all these like dubious reports of anti-Semitic protests, on college campuses, including at Bard College. Shared things that of people mistranslating or miscaptioning what a crowd is saying. They're like, "Oh, they're saying gas the Jews," and it's like they were not saying that.
But it says it in the typing.
It says it at the bottom of the screen, and when I hear it, I can kind of, if I squint, I can kind of hear it. But yeah, just like this type of Hasbara is so funny to me because it's coming from this place of like, tut-tutting at nepo babies or at like privilege. Like, just imagine how privileged you are to be at a college just talking about the oppression of others. Have you ever considered how many people you oppress by being a Sarsgard?
and also like looking down on like these privileged people using their privilege to take genuine bodily risks and like occupy like
for a
for
cause.
your principles. Oh, you can afford to do that. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's the whole point of the, the whole use your privilege, thing. That's why people say to, use your privilege wisely. It's
Exactly.
It's a whole liberal thing, and it's this confusion around these woke sort of, or quote unquote woke language. It's being able to selectively use it in order to, at the end of the day, just support a genocide. I mean, that's what this is. This is in support of a genocide.
That's your privilege. That's your privilege.
Yeah. How can I wokely scold you? How can I still be a woke scold and love genocide at the same time? And that's.
But also, isn't it woke against privilege? So now she's against woke privilage.
And she's been a free speech drumbeater for
Of
years
course.
and
But not this
decrying
free
the
speech.
woke
Yeah.
left. I mean, as Norm Finkelstein says, there are legitimate criticisms of how woke progressive politics and hypersensitivity
Of course.
and policing
Absolutely,
of language paved the way for the right wing, like sort of innovated it and whatever. But there's hypocrisy on both sides because the fucking right that made its bones, so many of these fucking influencers rose to prominence, mocking weepy,
Woke scolds.
sensitive university students are now being like, but who will think of the children?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, just breaking down this fucking, this word salad here. Like, there's so much going on here. The richest, most privileged people on the planet are drawn to any cause that makes them, if not the oppressed.
What, you can't afford a comma? You're so working class you can't pay for some punctuation?
Yeah, come on, bro. Let's see. If not the oppressed, at least proximate enough to slake the thirst of their oppression envy in a milieu that recognizes oppression as the only form of virtue. I'm sorry, but you could not more accurately describe like any liberal Zionist person talking at any point the idea of like the the proximity to oppression. What is an American Zionist other than doing proximity to oppression? What is a person living in Israel doing other than proximity to oppression? We literally have people using the historical trauma in order to justify the current trauma that is being inflicted upon the Palestinians. I can't imagine a more perfect example of what you're talking. In fact, a more devastating example of what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's we're gonna hurt you signaling.
We're gonna hurt you signaling. I got you.
Put the Palestinian cause like it's this like elite like privileged
Right,
thing, like
yes.
it's coming from this astroturf, like it's just these rich people
pretending
to care about something.
Right. They're putting it in the same like category as, when everyone gets together and does the ice bucket challenge and then they get like one celebrity to do it. And it's like, you're just love
like
causes
like the Nancy Pelosi, like Kunta Kinte.
Yes,
like, it's like,
yes.
Like it's that.
I think that is exactly like what they're trying to signal with that kind of stuff. It's like, this is, Nancy Pelosi wearing the kente cloth.
And in that way, I would call it like good Hasbara. I think like people like
Batia,
they're very good at like speaking to that audience, reminding them of someone that they don't like. Going, oh yeah, I don't like rich kids.
Yeah.
Rich kids like Palestine. Oh Palestine.
Yeah, I'm against it because I also hate when people are annoying.
Yeah, college kids are dumb.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
they like Palestine.
And it's an interesting argument about the effectiveness of it, because I do think there is something that is effective about reminding general populations that they hate college kids.
Yeah.
Because that has been like, the main takeaway from a lot of like older people.
Right.
Being
And
like,
we cut now to C-SPAN, where we'll see Shabbos Kesterbaum and Eyal Yacobi tearfully testifying in Congress about how their scrappy bootstraps university dreams, Ivy League university dreams, are being dashed by these privileged Palestinian advocates.
Right. I mean, they get nothing but airtime and nothing but like space, to air their grievances about these, these kids. And meanwhile, we're, talking about these protesting college kids like they're a bunch of privileged, self-centered assholes.
Yeah.
You're literally going to Washington to just talk about yourself. You'd be like, these thousands of kids are protesting against genocide, saying words like, I'm against genocide, and I'm going to read into that.
And these are the privileged kids who are willing to like sacrifice that privilege.
Yes.
Who are willing to get expelled. Anyone who's seen the encampments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about the documentary?
Or the documentary, yeah.
Oh, I still haven't seen it.
Can attest to the fact that, the majority of these kids are coming from what seem to be pretty humble backgrounds. And at the very least, even if they're coming from more wealth or privilege, their actions put them in the firing line of potential serious consequences.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can say, "Oh, well, that doesn't include Ramona Sarsgard." Yeah, well, that is a perfect reason as to why she would be one who's going to be involved in an action that is like a red action, one that's not a civil disobedience, and then when the cops come, you go away, which is a perfectly legitimate thing to do. Being the one who knows beforehand this action will most likely end up in arrest, and someone who has the means in order to fight whatever charges or whatever, even expulsion, should be doing that if they believe in this. I think that is a very brave and righteous thing to do.
Nah, Matt, they're just going to jail to pad their resume.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They're just doing it to be cool.
They're just slaking their thirst.
Yeah, they're just slaking, dude. Well, I'm less than slake about this. Yeah, but I don't know. It's seeing this type of Hasbara. You see it now so fast. These contradictory positions. I was talking to Adam about this yesterday, but I was like, there was we've come to the point now where like someone will tweet something, like Hasbaras will tweet something, and it's human nature to think that the thing they tweeted is their position on the subject. That's how conversations work. The thing someone says is what I think, right? And then they so quickly will turn around and contradict the last thing they just said. So you can't even have a full conversation with them because you're like, everything you're saying is the opposite. I'm waiting 2 seconds and you're saying the opposite thing. And yet I still fall for it. I still go like, well, that's her position on this. Certainly that's consistent along all lines. And I still fall for it.
Yeah.
I still look at that Bata tweet and I go like, that's her position on it. It's not. It's whatever position she needs to take in order for you to be convinced that you should not care about Palestinians dying.
It's like those episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation when the shields were low and they decided to like phase frequency shift the shields really, really fast so that photon torpedoes from the Romulan ship won't be able to crack through them because it's like whatever.
Right. It's like that.
Yeah.
I was going to say it.
I was going to say that too.
That it's definitely like that. Thank God we're taking dilithium crystals, says Adams.
Talking dilithium crystals.
Thank you so much.
I'm taking them too.
Yeah, I gotta take them dilithiums. But yeah, it is. This whole line of like Hasbara against these kids and against anyone who comes from privilege who is speaking out against this is. I think most people do see through it, or at least anyone who's paying attention.
It's just easy to pick one person to make the face is like, oh, look at this rich person that you don't like rich people.
They're all children of Maggie Gyllenhaal, every single one, and Amalek. Amalek and Maggie Gyllenhaal had a baby named Ramona, and she is invited on this podcast. Any nepo babies who stand up to the Israel lobby, stand up to their college campuses, stand up to all of the public pressure and private pressure. They are all invited on this podcast.
Well, one thing we can say about Maggie Gyllenhaal clearly, she's less than Jake. Little button on your other joke there.
That is because Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Are they siblings? I think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're brother sister. That's gotta be so cool.
He Jake's my thirst.
Yeah, Jake my thirst. I'm thirsty for Jake. My music is not a costume, Daniel. Oh, that's right. Sorry, Adam. He loves ska. Well, let's take a quick commercial break and then we will come right back. So everyone, please stick around, listen to these commercials. Apologies for that one that was an oil company. I don't choose it. And we will be right back. And we're back. This is Hasbara, world's most moral podcast. I'm here in studio with my guest, our guest, Ahmed Bharoocha. How you doing, dog?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Do you like being in my studio with me?
Yeah, it's nice. I want a studio.
You can sleep in that bed.
Oh, nice.
I'm feeling marginalized.
I would love for you to come over and sleep in the bed, Daniel.
I don't. That's not what I mean. I just mean that my face is like smushed against the side of the screen because you guys need the wide
right.
shot.
That's a good point. I could, here we go. Let's try this. Yeah, that's good. No,
it's not. No, it's not.
There we go.
Is that a tiny guitar?
Let me see.
It looked tiny when we saw it.
Oh, that's
just
just
far
how
away?
perspective works.
Wow.
Oh no,
Yeah.
wait, no, that looks tiny.
It does look
You mean the
tiny.
black one?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of living color, that is a Vernon Reid signature PRS. He designed the pick guard there, and it's to his specifications. And
Wow.
yeah,
Vernon Reid, huh?
Vernon Reid.
Do I know him?
He's the guitarist of Living Color.
Oh, that's sick. I love that. And it's a cool looking guitar. And I
is cool.
love a PRS. They look cool as shit. I've never played one, but I know that Santana likes them.
Yeah, they're great.
That's all he plays. To continue talking about Bad Hasbara, this is a real quick one. Betar Matt.
Yeah, the funny thing about this one is that we were talking about how Bata went on the liberal to
Fascist.
Betar to fascist, ethno-nationalist pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one where Betar has consigned Schumer to go from right-wing extremist on Israel to liberal simp.
Yes. So this is incredible.
He's the guy who used to say the Palestinians don't deserve the land because they don't believe in the Torah.
Right. Yes. So Betar worldwide. This is a quote tweet. First tweet is Betar confirms that Chuck Schumer was called a capo to his face at the Nova exhibit when it was in New York City. He didn't like it. Which
The picture says he likes it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they shouldn't choose a picture of him looking like he's very much liking something. He's like happy, his arms up, he's going like hip hip hooray. And the idea that like he was called a capo while he was visiting a like literal propaganda exhibit about the Nova Festival.
Wait, what is a capo?
A capo is like it's one of the worst things you can call a Jew. It means a Jew that helps round up and kill other Jews for the sake of an oppressor.
Oh, that's definitely Chuck Schumer, yeah.
yeah. Famously Chuck Schumer. He's always rounding us up. But also, like people who were like Nazi collaborators and stuff.
To save their own lives. I mean,
right.
it's a highly compromised position.
I mean, not to defend capos, but at the same time, I also do feel like the people who call everyone a capo are doing the same kind of like Holocaust revisionism, or it's like they're using the Holocaust again.
Yeah, it was all the Jews doing it. To
Right?
The Jews.
Yeah. It was like the biggest part was all the Jews who killed the Jews, and it's like, all right,
Or like slavery, like black people did slavery.
Yeah, black people sold other black people into slavery. Why don't we yell more about black people?
Yeah.
It just so happens that I'm already yelling about black people, and it would be a lot easier for me not to think about yelling about someone else.
We need some black on black reparations.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't they get reparations from other black people? So he's
For us, by us. Am I right?
yeah, got it. So Betar says that, and then they quote tweet themselves. Love that. Yes, we confirm. Again, they're confirming. Betar leaders were thrown out of the Nova exhibit for calling Schumer a capo. They were all very upset. Why don't more Jews do this? Disrupt the lives of these terrible Jews.
That last sentence is...
Disrupt the life of these terrible Jews is... We have gone full circle.
Are they pro capo or not?
I don't know. Are they pro-Jew? Are they anti-Jew? I love when they just do Nazi talking points,
Yeah.
and they go like, I love the question, why don't more Jews do this? What? How come I can't get everyone together at my do Nazi stuff, I'm a Jew meetings?
More Jews should be anti-Semitic.
I was thinking, like, it's weird.
Snitch on
that
other Jews.
there's so many Jews out here who like would love to disrupt the lives of terrible Jews, and they don't do it. It's because they're pussies. I'm trying to think there's a cabal of Jews who are out there.
It's the new
Controlling the
entry
other
in the. It's the new entry in the Horrible Bosses franchise.
Yeah, terrible Jews.
Terrible Juices.
Horrible bosses was it.
My favorite part of this is that, yes, we confirm Betar leaders were thrown out of Nova exhibit for calling Schumer a capo. It's this kid who's working for the middle school yearbook, or the school television station.
Right.
But they're also a member of the bully gang. They're like, yes, I confirm that that Ray Feinberg got pantsed today.
Yeah.
And he cried like a little bitch.
Yeah, he was very upset, and we saw his penis, and I'm going to draw it and post it everywhere. Why don't more people do this?
The terrible nerds.
Yeah, it would do this to these terrible nerds. It just seems like fun. I feel like it's weird that I'm the only one sitting here alone doing
now,
this.
do these people actually care? Like, do they not like Chuck Schumer? Or is this
They don't
just
like Chuck Schumer because
No.
Chuck Schumer is Democrat, and Democrats are weak on Israel, which is crazy because Chuck Schumer is very
Their
strong.
bombs are so much weaker.
Yeah, their bombs are pussy bombs.
He's
Yeah,
criticized Netanyahu.
Right.
And he also said once, which was pretty notable, he
Mm-hmm.
said, an increasing number of young people, or maybe young Jews, don't even believe in the concept of a Jewish state. And while that's really unfortunate and we need to convince them otherwise, you can kind of understand it, or at least he was just sort of dealing with it realistically. Like,
Right.
that's just, like, Israel is losing people.
Yeah.
And either it's going to be democratic
Mhm.
or it's going to lose its Jewishness. Now, he doesn't really mean democratic.
Yeah.
Right.
He means big D democratic.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And it's like this is the constant limbo that anyone who's Zionist and trying to be reasonable, they always find themselves stuck in these positions where there's immovable ideological points, and that is that Israel must exist, and it must exist as a Jewish state. Well, then you can't be mad about everything. You can't be like, why are these kids like that? We're losing the kids. How do we do this fascist thing without losing the kids? Well, you got to stop doing the fascist thing. Well, I'm not going to do that. And the funniest thing is they still get called a capo by Betar. People who ostensibly agree with everything they say. Oh, it's great. Anyway, shout out to our anti-Zionist king, Chuck
That's just
Schumer.
the funniest picture of Chuck Schumer I've ever seen.
Yeah, what is it? He's such a strange looking guy.
Did you see him at that anti-Trump protest on the Capitol steps?
No.
Where they were, all these geriatric politicos were chanting, "We will win, we will." And he cuts in because he has a better chant, and he's like really close to the microphone. "We won't rest. We won't rest."
Yeah.
And it's just
Doesn't
so
matter if we're tired.
And then they immediately took names.
Yeah. They're like, well, figuratively,
Metaphorically rest.
of course.
we
I will.
won't take our pills.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh
It's
my
like a
god!
bunch of Grandpa Simpsons.
Just knowing they're all going to rest. It's like, you guys are not only going to rest, you're going to die soon.
So I did a media tour doing apologetics for a genocide, which was the style at the time.
We want you to call more. Would it kill you? We won't call. All right. So moving on, we have to talk about the top story, the release of Edon Alexander. This kind of leads into a bunch of other like fun propaganda stories. But first and foremost, Edon Alexander was someone who was 19 years old when he was captured while guarding a post near the Gaza border on October 7th. He was born
What's an American 19-year-old doing guarding a post?
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to go to.
You mean he was a goalie? Like he was?
Yes, he was guarding the post. But yeah, he was born in Israel. He immigrated to the U.S. as a baby with his family, enlisted in the IDF as a volunteer, and he was
As a toddler.
As a toddler, yeah. First thing he got out of the womb after they did the gender reveal, and they were like, "Well, you have an Israeli soldier."
Yes, mommy.
And he was captured and has been in in Gaza this entire time until the president of the United States
Cut the line.
Yeah, cut the line. Casino magnate Donald Trump said, "We got to get this guy out." And this is a really interesting story because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation, or not so much misinformation, but a lot of a fool can't get fooled again stuff going on here, where we are seeing this sort of Hasbara Zionist panic over the fact that Donald Trump is doing things without the consent of the Israeli government. And just very interesting to me the way everyone is getting mad. So here is this recent video that came out of Donald Trump talking about Gaza.
Gaza came up, and I said, we gotta be good to Gaza. Those people are suffering. We got to be good to Gaza. We're going to take care of that. There's a very big need for medicine, food and medicine, and we're taking care of it.
So that's
Better be good to Gaza.
We got to be good to Gaza. Gaza's got to be good, and we got to be good to it back. Now, the way in which people have been talking about this is all very reminiscent of when Biden was president.
Yeah.
And the way that
he's mad at Netanyahu.
Yes, exactly. It was just like, a leaked anonymous source says Biden is really mad and threatened to. He told Netanyahu that he was going to bite his dick off.
He called Netanyahu a son of a gun.
Yeah, he's like, he was like, "Hey, Jack, stop doing crime, Jack." And then, of course, it comes out, a few weeks ago that they weren't doing anything. There was no pressure on the Israeli government to literally do anything, to stop bombing, to stop anything. There was always a PR campaign, a PR strategy of we're going to say we're going to do something and then allow the Israelis to keep doing what they're doing.
I think that does have that in common with this. That was a bad sentence. But what's different is that Trump is taking some kind of
at the very
seemingly
least,
unilateral action behind Israel's back.
Yes.
And Israelis and Hasbaras are fucking freaking out about it. Did you see the meme that was going around of Trump as a Hamas?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The Trump Hamas meme is back.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they just photoshopped like a Hamas headband onto him, and they're like, "Here's Hamas Trump," And
then when it comes to the Qatari Air Force One, someone did a version of it saying Hamas Force One.
Yeah. So
I mean, even that where he was somewhat feigning empathy was just Gaza as this concept. I gotta be good to Gaza.
Gotta be good to. It's very much like
they need medicine. Gaza needs medicine.
He knows he's given two very big font talking points. We need to be good to Gaza. They need medicine and stuff. and I think he is repeating, what he needs to say for that reporter, but at the same time, the question of whether or not he is actually unilaterally doing stuff.
Yeah, I'm skeptical.
I'm very skeptical. I'm very skeptical.
I don't know though.
Yeah, because the big thing that I'm seeing from all this is Netanyahu gets a pass to do a hostage exchange without taking any credit for it. So his right-wing, fanatics can't get mad at him.
I have a theory based on nothing, but
go ahead.
To create this false hey, they're pulling away from each other, they're not getting along, and then Trump will go to Saudi Arabia and Saudi Arabia will be like, oh, we got this good deal, and they're like, oh damn, it's got to be good because Trump hates Netanyahu and they're gonna do it, and then they do the deal, and then it's just bullshit.
Yeah, right, and then it's just the status quo, and I think I think the ultimate sign to me that like Trump is just a continuation of the same policies, that no matter what kind of PR is that the policies continue, is that the war continues, is that like pressure is not being applied in the way it would if it were any other country, you know, if it were a country that the United States genuinely wanted to put pressure on. If you're not actually willing to take those steps, you might, you know, at best you could say, well, he's circumventing them to get this American back. But I personally am like, but I'm not going to sit here pretending like, man, he's got a good heart for the Gazans.
No,
you know?
agreed. And can we show just the text I just, screenshot I just sent you? It's from my brother Aaron's latest Substack article.
I love it.
I think it sums this up well. Hey, so do I. Yeah, this is just a little snippet, a little paragraph from Aaron's Substack. Trump has shown mixed signals on that front. Some in the Trump camp voiced disdain for Netanyahu, nothing new here, whose close ties to Trump's first national security advisor, Mike Waltz, reportedly led to Waltz's dismissal earlier this month. Quote, in MAGA, we are not Bibi fans, a Trump advisor tells the Washington Post. Trump is adamant he wants people to put the guns down. Yet Trump has taken no concrete steps to force Israel into doing that.
Yes.
As U.S. officials explained to the Wall Street Journal, quote, Trump has effectively given Israel the green light to advance throughout the whole of Gaza until Hamas changes course and lays down its arms. In other words, Trump so far has continued the Biden policy of providing unrelenting cover for mass murder.
Right.
Yeah.
Completely. And I feel like what I am actually seeing from these stories is you're not seeing that narrative, which is like, you know, if he was against it, he could pressure them to stop.
Yeah.
He could do that. And we continue this incredibly harmful, incredibly anti-Semitic trope of, well, there's nothing we can do. You know, it's like Israel.
They're making us do
they're
it.
making us do it. You know, Trump is, you know, he's compromised or whatever, as if like Trump can't himself do stuff, as if the president of the United States can't do stuff.
But there is a thread of, sorry, go ahead, Ahmed.
One tiny thing that's like maybe a glimmer of like, even if it's not nothing, there's no real rift. The feigning of the rift like seems like possibly like, hey, some of MAGA's base is like, Israel's not that good.
Yeah.
You know? So like maybe there's even at least like some sign that there's at least a reason to fake this. Like
There's
Right.
that,
Yes.
which sort of presumes that Trump is actually responsive to his base, which I think is an open question. But there is the thing that really motivates Trump always is his own narcissism,
image,
and his own megalomania. And there's a sense in which I you know, he's not going to let this little gnome-like Jew, Netanyahu, push him around. Like,
Right.
he's going to alpha this genocide, and when it stops, and when it starts, and when it pauses, and when there's a release of a hostage, and, you know, Netanyahu's not going to get to claim the big PR victories.
Yeah.
Trump will, which is
Yeah.
why you see Israelis so fucking pissed off. And they're additionally pissed off that he was released in good condition, and that initially, at least, he said he wasn't going to meet with Netanyahu, but he was going to go to Qatar to meet with Trump to thank him personally.
Wow, I didn't know
Right.
that.
And do you think that if Trump actually had an issue with Netanyahu, or with it, when has he ever held back? I'm talking about people he fucking hates, you know? This idea to me that like the relationship may be strained in one way or another. I think Trump will, you know, he'll talk, you know, good about someone until he feels like
He's ready to throw him in the
he's
dirt.
ready to throw him in the fucking dirt. So I'm not, you know, the idea of the straining of the relationship for him, I think the only kind of like strategizing that he's doing is just enough PR in order to maybe get his some of his base to be happy with him. But
Yeah,
also,
fair enough.
I do think it is just like, this is a guy who fucking is gonna call you a fat pig bitch if he feels
It's
like
just
it.
so hard to actually figure out what's going on. with
Well,
him.
so for me, I was thinking about this as a strategy. There was a Jewish Insider article that came out, which, by the way, maybe the worst name for a magazine. I don't
Jewish
like
Insider.
it. It just sounds bad. Doesn't it sound anti-Semitic? I don't like it.
Jewish conspirer.
Yeah. Jewish cabal guys. Jewish insider. Media controller monthly. Seriously, I swear to God, it's like, why name? Just name it something better. I don't like it. So Netanyahu calls to wean Israel off U.S. aid amid growing tensions. See, to me,
like
this
it's a baby suckling at the
right,
teat.
exactly. And it's not to say that it isn't a baby suckling at the teat, but it's more to say that, like, this idea of like, oh, we got to wean off every time it just feels like a media strategy. It does. So let's see. Israel needs to begin to move towards ending its reliance on U.S. military aid. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a meeting of the Knesset.
I agree, Netanyahu.
Yeah, 100%. Who doesn't agree? The only people who don't agree
Netanyahu.
is you, Netanyahu. You said in a meeting of the Knesset Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee on Sunday, amid disputes with the Trump administration over a wide range of national security issues, quote, "We received close to $4 billion for arms. I think we will have to wean ourselves off American security aid just as we weaned ourselves off of American economic aid," Netanyahu said, and added that...
I propose we begin with applesauce and crushed pears.
Start there. Wow. Yes, saying
we can no longer listen to Miss Rachel. I'm quite partial to Sharon Lois and Bram's old records.
I'm just saying we do some sort of BDS of American goods, including Miss Rachel. Let's see. The remark was made in the context of talks with the U.S. about the next 10-year aid package for Israel, and was unprompted, his spokesman told Jewish Insider.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah, I know. It's like Netanyahu previously spoke of phasing out U.S. military aid after his disputes with former President Joe Biden and his administration about delivering arms to Israel last year. The Trump administration removed some of the restrictions, but there are new tensions between Jerusalem and Washington about a long list of diplomatic and security matters.
Medicine.
Yeah, medicine, letting people in.
Be good.
Yeah, being good to Gaza.
You gotta be good to them.
Israel's defense establishment reportedly prepared plans to attack Iranian nuclear facilities in the coming months, while the Trump administration is now engaged in extensive diplomacy with Iran in hopes of reaching a deal over its nuclear program.
Do you say nuclear?
Yeah, I do. And I've never fully understood why that's a problem. It's a nuclear.
It's not, it's not a problem at all. It's just, I thought of it more of as a George W. Bush kind of thing.
I know.
Not a coastal elite thing.
I remember when people started giving him shit for that.
Yeah,
like,
I have a hard time telling the difference.
Nuclear.
That was the one George Bush joke where I was like, what is he
I
saying?
was like, is that bad?
I feel like that and squirrel. Someone told me I say squirrel wrong. And I don't
You're
know.
saying squirrel right.
Okay.
I don't care.
Someone said squirrel.
How do you say milk?
Milk?
That's what I said.
Did I just copy how you said it?
I don't know. I think I said it right, and you said it right. With Iran, in hopes of reaching a deal over its nuclear program, the Trump administration is open to working with Saudi Arabia on a civilian nuclear program, something that Israel has had misgivings about and was previously meant to be a part of a normalization deal between Jerusalem and Riyadh. So like this article goes on to talk about what the differences are. And, it goes into the Edon Alexander thing. In addition, Qatar pushed Hamas to free Israeli-American hostage Edon Alexander, a New Jersey native, as a gesture to Trump as he visits Doha, the Gulf state's capital, cutting Israel out of the deal. Jerusalem was also blindsided by the U.S. ceasefire with the Houthis last week, which did not include an end to attacks on Israel and was announced days after the Yemeni terrorist group shot a missile at Ben Gurion Airport. Now, this to me...
I like the A missile.
Yeah, shot a missile. Yeah, they're like, first of all, how dare you? Shoot multiples like we do.
I have to admit, like of all of the empty Arab threats against Israel, the one that always titillates me the most is the idea of like really taking out that airport.
I know.
And I don't mean, I mean,
obviously death.
God,
No.
God protect
death.
all the people who work there and might be, but like functionally in terms of like hitting, like I've been to that airport, and I mean, why am I saying this on the podcast? What is the advantage of this confession whatsoever? I don't know why this
You're
is coming
saying
out
you
of
don't
me.
like the airport. That's totally legitimate.
It's just the layout that you don't like.
I also think
there's the food court's in the wrong spot.
I'll
Definitely.
be real with you. Also, Burbank Airport, and
Yeah.
I love how close. I love Burbank Airport. The actual airport itself. I'm like, what are we doing here? A lot of people travel through here. Why are we acting like this is an airport that should be this small? Make it a little bit nicer. Anyways, Houthis, if you're listening.
I like that it's Burbank Airport and it's literally in the burbs.
Yeah, it's in the burbs, filled with banks. I don't know. We're going somewhere. But yeah, to me, like I look at this article and I look at what we're talking about in terms of differences between them. And to me, they seem very specifically to be differences that would only matter in like Jerusalem local politics. In Israel Knesset politics, these differences matter. They matter if Netanyahu is going to be attacked, he's going to be attacked from people who are trying to get his job. Right. And to me, that's what I see. I see this as sort of political calculations where he gets to get away with doing something that the Americans want to do and save face with his own people in his party who are like, no, but we're supposed to kill him to every last man. We can't do hostage deals and negotiations. Meanwhile, this deal with the Houthis, you think Netanyahu is going to cut a deal with the Houthis fucking like 3 days after they send a missile to Ben Gurion Airport? He can't do that. He can't do it himself. The United States can do that. And to me, I'm like, that's what I see. I think this is a very specific type of Hasbara that is not necessarily accessible to the rest of the American public, but I think it explains these moves.
Do you have more articles you want to show about this, or can I play something I saw on X, which
yes,
or
please.
Twitter, it's in the private chat.
Yeah.
This demonstrates, I mean, whether it's intended or not, one of the fun consequences of moments like this is it just discombobulates the professional Hasbarists, especially when talking to foreign journalists. This is on Sky News.
It does seem
Burning rubble.
that there's a pattern developing. America has done this deal without Israel. They've done a deal with the Houthis. No Israel. They're talking to Iran. No Israel. Isn't this all humiliating for Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yeah, that's, again, the story which Hamas want you to share. But this war will end when the hostages come home and Hamas are gone. Simple as that. Not a minute before.
I'm merely stating facts and asking you questions. You can't.
No, they're not facts. They're opinions. They're opinions. We won't rest until they're your opinions, Mark. And Mark, you've been wrong about this war in every single moment. And we've had this discussion over the last 19 months. You've been wrong at every single point. You want to capitulate. You want Israel to capitulate to Hamas, and we won't. We won't do it because we're a democracy. I'm happy to be asked questions.
I appreciate that. Completely appreciate that.
Ask me a decent question, I'll answer it.
Well, please do.
Ask me one that that I am allowed to answer in a way that would make sense, because this one I cannot answer.
This guy uses Hamas.
I mean, this is. I think this is a great video because he cannot answer the question. With anything concrete.
Let's see what he does here. He gets another opportunity.
Yeah, let's try again, buddy.
Tell me where this is wrong. Did the Americans have any involvement in the release of this? The Israelis have any involvement in the release of this hostage? Have the Israelis had any involvement in the deal with the Houthis that the Americans have done?
It's Twitch.
Are the Israelis talking to Iran at the moment? That's were my questions. Where am I wrong on that? Please tell me, because it'll be interesting to know.
We are closer than ever with our American allies. What you're sharing is a view which Israel's enemies would like to share it to the outside world. It's not just wrong, it's morally backwards. Let's not confuse the arsonist with the firefighter. We're fighting to defeat Hamas in this war.
Walter White. saying to Schrader, you know, these wild accusations, they could break up our family. We're closer than ever.
We're so close.
I mean, it's great because what he's doing is he's saying, you know, these questions itself are Hamas propaganda.
Yeah.
Because you are not supposed to, you're supposed to infer from this we can't have you inferring the same thing that Israeli society is inferring. I can't say out loud, yes, we are working with the United States in all of these things. Because if I do that, it ruins the whole, you know, thing at home in Israel of people being like, hey, fuck you, Netanyahu. You're doing fucking hostage deals and you want to make peace with the Houthis? What the fuck? So, you know, he's like, you're doing Hamas shit by doing journalism.
And you can
Questions
say
are Hamas.
And you can say that the inconsistency and hypocrisy of our and just incoherence of our position begs the question. But begging is undignified.
That's
and
right.
I refuse to answer any question that begs.
Yeah, we're not going to there's no begging that's going to happen, especially the question.
We're so close. We're
like fucking best friends.
We're like inside each other.
We're like, yeah, dude, you should see our bed. We share it together and we sleep in it and we cuddle.
We're so close that America doesn't even have to explain to us why they haven't answered our calls. We know they're busy.
Yes. Yeah, we understand them. You just don't get it. It's because
So my point in sharing that is whatever the truth of the size of or the existence of the rift, the appearance of it creates, stutteringly, difficult problems for their Hasbaras, and I enjoy that.
It's always fun watching them struggle.
That like.
Yeah, the little no, stop it! I can't answer that.
It's crazy when that happens. Sometimes you just see like someone's face just can't stop.
Shut up! Shut up! And it's interesting, seeing because this is again, there's a lot to balance here about who knows what and who's going to be friends with who and who's not going to be. It's like so. A lot of different audiences are saying different things. So you're going to have these like online Hasbaras be making Trump is fucking Hamas, memes and stuff. And it's just very interesting to me since the return of Edon Alexander, who the Hasbaras are mad at. Because a lot of them are, there are the far right-wing ones who don't care about just being mad at Trump. But then there's a lot of the more reasonable ones, the ones who are like, Trump is still our ally. We know that. We don't want to get into this business of being anti-Trump. That will not help us.
Don't wake daddy.
Yes. So it's been really interesting to watch how mad they have been over or who they're shifting their anger towards. And it's mostly the Red Cross and Qatar. That is the thing. Those are the things they're mad at. So when Edon was returned, this picture was released. The Israeli army, via the Red Cross, Edon Alexander is with us and is in good health. Al Jazeera shares this exclusive photograph of the freed Israeli soldier. So it's him next to a Red Cross worker, next to 3 masked Hamas soldiers. And, he's looking healthy. He's got a Adidas shirt on and he's got a lanyard on. And
he's got a cool lanyard. What's that?
Yeah, well, I think all of the freed captives get a lanyard.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's actually a hotel key card. He had to use it to get through the tunnels.
Yeah, it's not a backstage.
He got backstage at
it's
the
a
war.
Backstage pass at the war. Yeah.
Very very important prisoner.
Yeah. Excuse me, my girlfriend's in there. A lot of people's girlfriends are in there. But when I saw this picture, I thought nothing of it other than like, well, he looks, healthy. Obviously, he's been in captivity for 18 months. It's not like, I'm sure it's incredibly traumatic, but just in terms of like looking at him, visually, I was like, health-wise, this looks good. We'll see, people, there's still going to be issues. I'm not going to like sit here and say, oh, he's fucking fine. Mm-hmm. But I was wanting to see what people were going to be mad at. And this is what I've been seeing everywhere. This is a bunch of different accounts have been doing this. The face of evil. And they are pointing out the woman in this picture, the Red Cross worker. This has been something that I have been shocked to see, the amount of people who are going after this specific Red Cross worker, because this Red Cross worker has been involved at various different hostage deals, like when they are turning over a captive from one person to another in Gaza. You see her showing up. This is her with another hostage. This is someone who had been in captivity for, I think, much longer than October 7th. I think it was a decade that this person was. And you see like this particular worker, and I'm like, are we going to sit here and be mad at the Red Cross? The Red Cross is Hamas now?
Yeah, they've been Hamas.
I mean, it's just nuts to me that the Red Cross, like, at some point when you're like looking at just a woman and being like, this is the face of evil, I'm like, look in the fucking mirror. At some point you got to be like, damn, that's crazy that every single person who's not me is evil.
Yeah.
What is this mindset? What have you ever at some point realized you were the problem?
What is their, like, are they saying she was there on October 7th?
Their whole thing with the Red Cross is that they believe that the Red Cross is in cahoots with Hamas because of the fact that they treat Hamas like the army that they are. You know,
Well, she is standing there right next to them in the picture.
Well,
she's not fighting them.
Well, right. Honestly, straight up, it's like she has, if she wanted to, the ability to be in secret talks with Mossad and blow up strategic targets, and she chooses not to. It's anyone who chooses to be a part of the mediation process. This is why Qatar is the other group of people.
Like, we want the hostages, but don't go get them.
Right, exactly. But I'm not going to like talk with guys about how to get them. I'm just going to blow up a bunch of guys and maybe get them, maybe not. I don't know. It's their anger seems to be at people who are mediating.
Yeah.
This is the same. It's whether it's Red Cross or Qatar. Because like, my God, guys, the Qatar shit is crazy. This is, so first, this is Emily Schrader saying, Edon's family confirms Edon will fly to Qatar, where he will meet with President Trump and the Emir of Qatar. There are no words to express how disgusting this is. Qatar is the regime which enabled Edon's captors and torturers to take him and hold him for 19 months. Shame on anyone condoning this absolutely disgraceful act. The last thing this poor boy needs is to be paraded around the Islamist dictator of Qatar like some trophy of Donald Trump. Vile.
She means the last thing we need. I mean, this disgraceful act by whom, Emily?
Yes.
By the hostage himself?
Right.
By his family?
Right. Is it by
Who are you
Trump?
mad at?
Why is Trump in Qatar?
I mean, Trump's there. I mean, Qatar's there. And also like this whole idea of like the enabling of fucking, you know, you are enabling Hamas. It's like mediators by their very existence enable both sides to come to a table and agree on stuff. This idea of a mediator somehow being fair game for attacks. I mean, this is not the first time that
it seems desperate.
I mean, does
you don't?
Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, you're just gonna let Qatar talk to my guy? These guys have been going fucking. These are all of the tweets. I mean, you really have to like zoom in to see. These are all different Hasbars yelling the same shit about Qatar over and over and
so
over.
So are they
again.
mad at Edon for going?
They're not. They're not yet mad at Edon. They can't be mad at a brave boy, but they can be mad at a Arab state. Yeah, that's what they're allowed to do, and they can sort of feign some madness at Donald Trump, but they don't want to be full mad. Yeah, man. So you're seeing this like relationship with Donald Trump being used in the same way as, I don't know. I'm seeing it as a continuation of Biden. I just think I think it's the same thing. I think we're all, anyone who is, partisan is going to believe whatever they want to believe about the person that they like. And so all I would say is everyone, don't kid yourself. Do not allow yourself to believe in any way that, the Biden administration, the Trump administration, they're not friends of the Palestinians, and I would like them to be, obviously, but
be good to Gaza.
Yeah, I would like them to be good to Gaza, but I don't think they're good to Gaza. That's my opinion. So make sure to vote this November for whoever.
No elections this year, man.
What?
No,
Fuck.
next year there'll be midterms.
They got to just keep doing elections, man. What kind of democracy doesn't have an election every year for the top position? That's what I say. Come on, man. And finally, before we get out of here, I want to play something that, honestly, we've pushed this a couple different times because we've been like, no, we need to really sink into this, like dive deep into this guy. This is an IDF commercial. That's right. It's a commercial made by the IDF, and it is.
What the fuck does a conscript
army
need to do making advertisements? It's not the U.S. Army where they're desperate for fucking recruits,
right? Yes. No. I mean, this is. I don't think this is for Israelis. I'll just say this.
Okay.
In fact,
it's for New Jersey people.
Yes. Yes. And the question of who it's for beyond New Jersey, honestly, it's for anyone who likes this type of imagery. And let's see if we can watch this imagery and notice something strange about it. Maybe that it feels a little blood and soily. Let's play it.
We cherish
Israeli soldier crawling through mud, and then someone tilling the land.
A kibbutznik digging a trench.
Yeah, exactly. The only Somalian Jew dancing. A child here.
all of the things we have.
Hold on, let me turn this down real quick.
This game is called Hide from the Black Girl.
Yeah, I know. Why are they doing hide and seek this way?
Built upon it. We persevere.
Oh my, the girl's in the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Take care of our wounds. We never give up. We defend our home.
Our children.
We remember those who sacrificed everything.
I'm sorry. Okay, he's walking through a bunch of graves. I thought he was literally walking on some kind of green screen background of like American bills.
It does, like, from far away, it does look like he's walking over US dollars, and he's gonna put some flowers on one.
$4 billion a year.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bill Burr and Huel are about to like lay back on it.
Yeah.
We keep fighting for the small moments
Tilling
that
again.
make life here worth everything. We lift each other up.
Yeah.
In those small moments, we lean on each other because it is our duty to raise the spirit of a nation that never stops believing.
So now there's Israeli soldiers coming home, hugging their kids. Everyone's hugging. Now it's a husband and wife hugging. Then Israeli soldier
So what
comes
really
home,
is independence?
Put your gun down.
Yeah, what?
What
So,
is
sorry.
going
All
on?
right. So this soldier just walked into his child's room while he's sleeping.
He's like, oh, sorry, I thought I was in Gaza.
And so he's walked in with the fucking M16 still over his shoulder. Put it down.
Yeah.
Like, even the commercials we have here in the United States with like soldiers, the only time we show them holding guns is when they are like in battle.
Yeah.
This guy's going to his child's
They take
bedroom.
it home. There's not like a place for that in the military base.
You don't have a drawer at the front.
Everyone take their guns home.
Abba, there's a monster under my bed.
Drone strike.
Unfortunately, we had to bomb the whole child's
The monsters
bedroom.
are using human shields.
Yeah, exactly. Monsters under the bed using my child as a human shield. That's so fucking crazy.
It is waking up every morning with one mission: to fight for our country and to love it even harder.
What?
Even harder.
Dude, if you thought you loved Israel, did you know you could love it so much more fucking hard? I love you so fucking much that I'm gonna ski down with my gun and kill some Inuit children. No, this has got to be what fucking like.
That's the Golan.
This
that's
is
Mount
Greater
Hermon.
Israel.
Heights. Yeah,
That's Mount Hermon, and
It's Mount
they're looking
Hermon.
down on. That's Syria behind.
yes,
them.
they're about to ski down the slopes of Syria and just be like, time for more land. Oh, that's what they mean by you could love Israel even more. By getting more
of it.
Israel.
There's more to love.
There's more to love. That's the thing. Trying to make it nice and fat. Them feeding birds, dropping.
It's so nice how nothing's blown up.
Yeah, no, it's
Wow,
weird.
What a nice place to
It
live.
seems like a nice army, the way that they, just kind of like hang out and eat food.
And if someone asks what independence is, just tell them.
It's taking it
You
from
have to
someone
live here
else.
to understand.
You have to live here to understand.
And you can't live here.
Yeah. You have to live here to understand. You're literally not allowed to live here.
Sorry, you can't live here. You don't
what can I
understand.
say?
You're never going to understand.
Yeah. You will never understand. The only people who will understand are the ones who are allowed to live here. And you know what? If you are technically allowed to live here and you don't understand, wow, fuck you, Capo. Kill yourself. That is,
Wow.
it's a beautiful ode to 77 years of Israeli excellence and independence.
It really shows the tone deafness of it, too.
Oh,
Like,
man.
just how, like, look how nice everything is.
Yeah. Do you notice how, when you show the soldier at the beginning crawling through the mud, the assumption there being that, like, at one point, soldiers are crawling through anything in order to avoid like opposing gunfire.
Yeah.
Like as if they're like, oh boy, we gotta get into this.
And notice they never showed any fighting.
No, right, of course. It's just always like crawling.
At least in like
defensive.
American ones, you're fighting like a dragon. Or
Yeah,
something.
that's
They're
right.
Just like at home with their guns and their kids.
Yeah,
It's
the
like-
only dragon is a stuffed animal that their child is holding.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that shit is like. I mean, ending with. You gotta, what does independence mean? You have to live here to understand. Like the whole country is, you have to live here to understand.
Yeah, you have to be like with the Douglas Murray.
Yeah, right.
Have you been? Have you been?
Have you been? You've never been. You've never been to Israel. How can you talk about it?
Excuse me, I voted to make America great again. How is sending billions of dollars of my tax money to this foreign country making America great again? You have to live here to understand.
You don't understand. Just give me the tax dollars, and maybe at some point I can explain to you via some sort of British guy. You think they're smart, so I'll get the British guy to do it. And
All right, thanks for taking my call. Thanks very much.
no problem. Bye.
You got a good point there.
Bye, cattle.
Checks in the mail. My welfare checks in the mail.
I mean, it is fucking like watching that ad. For me, I'm like watching it and I'm going like, yeah, at some point you realize that there is a bunch of Hasbara that is truly only meant for my grandparents. You know what I mean? Like that is truly only meant for this very small select, the amount of American Zionists that there are, it's a huge amount because of how many Christian Zionists there are. But I mean, compared to the entire, population of the United States, we're talking about, a few million, right? Versus, out of 333 million or however many. And it's just like such specific media.
Yep.
It's for Western Zionists, Christians or Jews, doesn't matter. And, it is just for them to watch and go like, yeah, this is great. It's kind of like when I'm trying to watch Yellowstone.
Also, there was like, they had like some black actors in there.
Yeah.
But it was like either they're really white or black. There was like no
I love
brown.
that.
There's like not gonna do any brown.
Yeah. Well, they'll have the mixed Safar or Mizrahi, the Mizrahi mix, right? But it's I love that Israel does the diversity thing by going like, we're so diverse, we got white people and black people. That's every people.
Everything. That's it.
That's all of them. Yeah. But yeah, no, watching that, I mean, I'm just like, this is who is this for? It's for people who already look at Israel as a wonderful place.
Yeah, like the family friends that kind of got really mad when I was showing empathy. One went to Israel and like was posting all these pictures, like, oh, I really needed this, and like just like tables full of like nice
falafel.
It's just like crazy to in your feed to see like starving people, and then like someone going, oh, look at like this is such a nice thing. It's like, this is so tone deaf.
Yeah. It's
like, look how fine we are.
Right.
Don't you worry about us?
I mean, this is a constant thing that I'm always like so shocked by, is the amount of tone deafness seems to be such that you would actually have to fully deny everything that is happening to Gazans in order to do it, unless you are just fully sociopathic. And I just don't think that there's that many sociopaths out
I think
there.
it's like a blindness, or like
I think it's a blindness too. I'd like to believe it's a blindness.
Yeah.
Daniel, what do you think?
I think at this point it's a willful blindness, and I think just like the inconsistencies you talked about, how they can kind of code switch or phase shift between these two different things. I think Israelis have an incredible capacity to ignore, deny, rationalize, ignore, deny, rationalize, ignore. It's just kind of this oscillating, sprinkler system that just goes to those 3 points. And it doesn't have to cohere, because it adds up to not feeling the impact that would ruin your good time.
Yeah. I mean,
it's unhealthy.
Right. See,
it's very unhealthy.
To me, that this feels like part of the issue I'm having is, I'm like, how long can someone live with this brain? How long before you go fully insane?
Well, pretty damn long, actually.
Apparently, and I think that to me is what's surprising, and I think
at least until Israel weans itself off the U.S. tax,
right? Yes,
which it'll never do.
Yeah. Which that weaning is any day now, folks. Any day now.
It's a teeny weeny wean.
It's a teeny weeny wean. But yeah, I think that's also part of mine and a lot of other people's resentment about this entire genocide, other than of course the resenting anyone who does genocide, is the resenting people who are making us a party to their own insanity. Like it drives everyone else insane when you do insane things and refuse to acknowledge the insane things that you're doing. When people call you out on holding these positions, for you to immediately
attack mode.
Go in attack mode, or just defend both the contradictory positions at the same time. It just makes everyone else insane.
Yeah.
It drives me fucking crazy. And I don't like feeling crazy. I don't like
Don't let the bastards drag you down, Matt.
Yeah.
I'll try not to.
Stay out of that funny farm.
That's why I like your podcast, because it's it's a moment of brevity and with dark stuff.
Yeah.
Brevity? No, it's not a moment of brevity.
Levity.
I think you're looking.
Levity.
Yeah. Brevity? Not so much.
Yeah. If there's one thing I'm not, it's fucking brief. So much to the point I can't even re-listen to the podcast, or I'm just like, shut up, Matt. And then Daniel will start talking, and I'll be like, this sounds better, but also shut up, Daniel.
Seriously, you guys.
Shut up, all of us.
Yeah, I mean, but also our episodes aren't brief. We give fucking generously length episodes.
Yeah, I meant levity.
There are podcasts that have much bigger Patreons than us that give a lot less.
That's right.
In terms of sheer time. They're girthy. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a lot of girth in our episodes. We're not a lot of depth, but a lot of girth.
Every day is girth day with us.
Yeah, every day is girth day. We're a chode of a podcast, truly. But I thank you so much for actually listening to it.
Yeah, of course. It's nice to, laugh and still, because that's a thing with the industry, is like sometimes I have a hard time. I love comedy, but it's like I want to laugh, but I don't want to like ignore.
Right. No, of course. Yeah. And you want, it's like escapism without escaping.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want anyone to escape, but I do want you to be able to engage with this stuff without feeling the need to escape.
Yeah.
That's good for everyone except for Daniel and I, because our brains are now mush. We got mush brains. But I thank you for listening, and I thank you for coming on Bad Hasbara and talking with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Where can people find you?
I guess Instagram, Ahmed Bharoocha, YouTube, Dead Kevin is my sketch group.
That's right. They're fucking hilarious.
Also teach stand-up. There's comedy classes you could take.
Yeah,
online or in LA.
I love that, and we'll have a link to those classes. Ahmed is a hilarious stand-up comedian. Dead Kevin is a hilarious sketch group, and you can follow him and just click all the links in the description. We'll put.
Let me ask you both this, and Ahmed, you in particular, as a stand-up instructor. When we eventually do our first ever Bad Hasbara live show, my secret goal is to like get up there and try stand-up comedy for the first time as like an opener to whatever Matt does.
Yeah.
Should I be aiming for my first ever time for like a tight 5, or is that too ambitious? Should I just be going for like 1 minute or 2 minutes? Like perfect a shorter period, or
I would say like 3 or 4. I mean, tight 5 is going to be hard for your very first time unless you like hit some mics or anything. But if it's just like your first time doing stand-up, just be loose a little bit, but
So a loose 3, loose.
I think a loose 3.
If you can do, I say you could stretch out a loose 3 to a loose 5.
Yeah,
and you do it by welcoming people.
Yeah,
and that always cuts about 15 seconds off of it. All of a sudden, you're cooking with fucking fire.
Yeah, you'll thank a lot of people. That's a good way to start. Hey, thank you, thank them, thank everybody, thanking.
Oh, and then giving it up.
Yeah, give it up.
You got to give it up. You got to give it up, and you just keep, and also thanking another thing for supporting live comedy.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
and there's so many things where people I could ask them to put their hands together for.
Oh yes,
but also it's going to be your crowd, and they're just going to love you. So
that's true.
You're set up to succeed.
You are going to be doing it on easy mode, which is why I'm like, feel free, go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if a joke bombs, you just have a little save.
You're very funny, so I don't think you're gonna have a problem.
He's funny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is its own format, but I'd like to think it would transfer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you'll do great. I also think that there's a 50-50 chance that if we are doing live shows, we might need to call the live show Daniel and Matt do a live podcast, wink wink. Because I have a feeling that the name of the podcast, Bad Hasbara, is going to make it so venues don't want to book us. So we will find out. If you see,
I would be curious to know if many people knew what the word Hasbara was.
I think very few people did when it started.
Yeah.
And now more and more, so much so now that Zionists are now saying it's a slur when people use it negatively. They're like, "Oh, you just mean lying Jew," and it's like, well, then the Israeli government means that too, because they name their shit Hasbara. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Don't use our branding.
Yeah. Hey, what the hell? We're the ones who say explain. Stop explaining. But again, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you. And thank you to everyone out there listening. Patreon.com/badhasbara. badhasbara@gmail.com for all your questions, comments, and concerns. All right, everyone. Thanks again so much for listening. And until next time, from the river to the sea, welcome to my studio. It was built by me.
Oh.
I built it.
Don't you mean it was built by I?
Fucking A! I will never learn that. Nuclear.
Jumping jacks was us. Push-ups was us. Krav Maga us. All karate us.